Well, you have arrived. This is the All the Hats We Wear podcast. Here you'll hear a plethora of tips and strategies for living your purpose. We all wear many hats. In fact, we're proud of wearing a lot of different hats. We're proud of all the roles we play, as you can see from people's social media profiles. My goal is to support you to become joyful, productive, and fulfilled. I'm your host, Scott Snow, life coach, productivity expert. Today, we're going to focus on an article I did that was in response to a Facebook group I was part of. And the person had a question about they wanted to know how to create SMART goals to help them become a better parent, spouse, and friend. So, as I started to formulate how I wanted to contribute to the thread, it became an entire blog post, which is on my website if you want to check it out. All the hats we wear. Just search SMART goal. So, in terms of SMART goal, actually, I don't agree with SMART goals. I don't like them. I don't think they're very interesting or fun. They're boring. An acronym for the SMART goal is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Boring. I don't find them inspiring. I think that we have four types of goals that we should be using. We need different types of goals because they're like different tools in the tool belt. You need different goals for different reasons. Here are my four types of goals. The habit goal, that's a rule for how you're going to live your life. It's not a habit yet. And once it is, you'll create a new one, but it's a habit goal. An example might be I meditate for 20 minutes every day, or I exercise every day for a half hour. It's very clear and specific. Next type of goal is a deadline goal. And that, of course, is an outcome with a deadline, a snapshot in time. An example, by June 15th, I weigh X pounds. Next is the visionary goal. And this is an aspirational goal that can't be measured. So this goes against the whole idea of a SMART goal, but it's crucial to get you inspired and think big. An example might be I'm the best dad I can be, or I'm a world class problem solver. I enjoy abundance in all my roles. I'm a visionary. Those you can't really measure. And the fourth type of goal is called the sky's the limit goal. These are huge goals requiring plenty of imagination. The sky's the limit. Think big. An example, my company's innovation helped a billion people get out of poverty. So I suggest that you write goals for all of your different roles and use a mix of all four types. Next is you need to identify your passions, hobbies, and interests. This is the first step in identifying your roles. You want to strive for at least 15 items in each category. And the reason you do this is that a lot of times your roles will be presaged with your brainstorming for your passions, hobbies, and interests. You'll forecast your roles given your interests, your loves and likes. So it's important to cultivate them. I often find that students and younger adults, they seem to have trouble cultivating interests. It's a very worthwhile activity to continue to chip away at those interests. You know, for me, it's backgammon. I've been really into backgammon for the last 4 or 5 years. And every book I read, every YouTube video or instructional thing, every time I play, you learn a bit more, and it adds to that bulk of your interest. So it really becomes fun. It's much better to go deep on something than just to do a million different things. How much can you get into, yoga with goats? So there are next would be to identify those roles of yours. Now, a role is a category in your life requiring quality time to be fulfilled. There are four types of these roles. The first is the mind, body, spirit role. An example might be spiritual person, visionary, body, genius, Christian, Buddhist. Next type is the giving and receiving roles. That's the in and the out. So you might think investor, wealth builder, millionaire or billionaire, giver, philanthropist, volunteer for Little League. Next is the personal role. This is what you might think of as roles: a wife, sister, friend, mom, chef, rock climber, adventurer, yoga instructor, roller derby queen. And then we have the professional roles like director of leadership training, supervisor, entrepreneur, sales pro, speaker, networker, blogger. Also, you should include future roles. You don't have to be doing it to assume the role. Like a millionaire, I have a millionaire role, but I'm not a millionaire. Think big. Why not? Now you can combine all of your roles in a quadrant. Just make a quadrant and then list all of your roles. Now that we've identified our roles, we have to start to manage them. First, you can go through all your roles and assess them one by one on a scale of 1 to 10. Get some perspective on where your life is, where are the difficulties, and where are the things that are going well. You can brainstorm activities that combine roles. If you're a parent, husband or a friend or spouse, what can you do that will involve multiple roles simultaneously? Plan a camping trip with another family. We just had the Super Bowl, so that was a nice role connector for me. Invited my mother over, and we had a lot of food. My kids were involved. They had fun, having fun betting on the game and all that. And I had my chef role involved. I made some coconut beef stew for the big game. And you could even see parts of relationships. There was a nice video, a viral video after the game when the Buccaneers won, and one of their star players was with his fiance, whatever, and they were doing snow angels, on their back on the field with all the confetti and everything. That was cool. I played some backgammon with my mother, and I even started to think about pirate songs because I do music therapy as well. I work with kids with disabilities using music, and I got on this pirate song theme. And well, here's one of the songs I did. This is a sea shanty, which is big on TikTok right now. I don't know if you're on TikTok. If you are, follow me there. I'm having a lot of fun there. My handle is all the hats we wear, of course. There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Billy of Tea. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down, oh blow, my bully boys, blow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. That's the wellerman. It's actually not a sea shanty, it's a ballad. But everybody calls it a sea shanty, and sea shanties are big. All right. Now, you can also consider the transition between your roles on a typical day. Think of a Marine drill sergeant: tough, ruthless, demanding. These are great attributes for a drill sergeant. It saves lives and helps, teach Marines how to be Marines. But it's not going to go so well with relationships and parenting and those other roles. So you need to adjust your roles. You need to transition between roles. Next, we have to unleash our creativity. These are all the head parts of this blog post that I did in response to that question about SMART goal. So unleashing your creativity, brainstorm quality questions related to your roles. Make sure you're asking empowering, open-ended, solution-focused questions. There's a difference between good questions and bad questions. A good question might be, what new recipes can I prepare that will be healthy and make me lean and strong? Or for my dad role, what's something my child is struggling with now and how can I support her? For my entrepreneur role, who's my dream mentor? My visionary role, what would be my perfect day? These are questions you can ask about all of your roles. And I suggest making a habit every Friday. You just take 15 minutes and just write down, brainstorm as many questions as you can related to your roles. Another thing you can do that's fun, which is something I called Round the World. That's like that basketball kids game where you go around the key for basketball and you have to make a shot at each station all around the circle. You can do the same thing with all your roles. Round the world, make a little progress for each roll, 5 minutes for each roll, and then have a timer. You'll be amazed at how many ideas you'll come up with. There's also bad questions. Why am I always broke? Why does this always happen to me? Some people are always the eternal, um, what's the word? Worry ward, or the victim mentality. Next one, clarify your mission and connect with your whys. Now, this involves a mission statement, but I have a different take on mission statements. I do what I call a mini mission statement for each of my roles. You first start by brainstorming all the words you associate to that role. When you're at your best at that role. An example of a visionary role, some of the words I came up with were creativity, beacon, innovation, Willy Wonka of design, Mozart, simplicity, elegance, John Coltrane, Frank Zappa. Next step is to write a 40 to 60 word mini mission statement for each role. Here's the template. I am a blank, insert the role name. I blank, blank, and blank, so I can blank. This is my blank role, and that's the nickname role, is the last sentence. So there's your template for a perfect mini mission statement. Let me give you an example of a finished mini mission statement on my role, visionary. I'm a visionary. Creativity is my greatest gift. I think big every day and constantly absorb new insights and apply them. I'm a lookout tower and lightning rod. I'm a voracious reader and unstoppable force for good. My crystal clear goals keep me on track for achieving my juiciest goals. This role is my Willy Wonka engine role that drives everything good in my life. Next, you should make an audio recording of your mini mission statements and your goals and listen to them every day. So you hover over them and connect with them all the time. It's so key. The worst thing you can do is make your role list or goals on New Year's Eve and then never look at it again. That's worthless. You have to revisit the emotion of your need to achieve these things every day. Next is to ace your large projects. We all have our handful with all different projects, and usually we underestimate the time required to do them. Another thing that prevents many of us from achieving projects and we just keep them on the back burner forever is that we don't have a system for taking up where we left off. And it's so important. Everybody has a busy life. We've got a lot of moving parts, and the ability to be able to say, I'm going to work on project number 3, writing an e-course or working on my book, and to say, well, I'm at this stage and this is the type of work I do at that stage. And now I can get right down to business. So here are the 7 stages of your project management. This is how you achieve any creative project, whether it be planning a wedding or writing a book. Stage 1, identify the spark. This is your emotional connection to your project. So it's key. You can't start your project without having that clear emotional connection, your spark. Why are you doing this? How does it make you feel? That's the fuel for the whole project. Next step is stage 2, the gathering stage. You collect all your resources and the inspiration related to the project. Throw it all in a cardboard box and slap a label on. 3 is brainstorm. Ask lots of questions. 4 is structure stage. What are the main components of this project? If it's a book, how many chapters? Next, stage 5 is the action stage. Roll up your sleeves and get the bulk of the project work done. Stage 6 is the refining stage. Make it shine. And 7 is to celebrate. Now you're done the project. So you can make a list of all the projects on your plate and a few that you'd like to begin. And find creative ways to connect your roles while working on projects. An example, make a treehouse, redo the patio in the back, plan a Disney trip with the family. Next is to start a daily journal. This is a great creativity helper. And throughout the day, you want to jot down some ideas that come up that you want to explore in your journal that night. I call these creative snippets. So example might be, my 4-year-old nephew was wrestling with grandpa and said, "Papa, you're my favorite old man." A favorite song from high school came on the radio, Van Halen, 5150, as I drove home, and I had the moonroof open and it was great. So those are examples of what you can do in response to that question in the thread I read about starting a SMART goal to make progress with some of your roles. Now let's go right to a couple inspirational stories. Story number 1 is about a basketball star on the Toronto Raptors named Fred VanFleet. He had like an outstanding game a while back and he scored, I don't know, 60 points or something. And afterwards they asked him about it and he says he was just playing with a pure heart. And I love that. He says you can't go wrong when you're just playing like that. So your good intentions. And I applied that a bit to my own work. Like you start to go, well, there's this person that could be a great mentor. Just rattle off a quick email to say something and don't even second guess it. As long as you're from a pure heart, because then you start getting the doubt like, oh, I don't want to bug that person. I don't know what's going to happen. Just do it. Number 2, the other day I was in line at Taco Bell getting something for my son. He loves soft tacos and popcorn chicken and plain mashed potatoes, of course. And I decided to listen to the first episode of my podcast, The Most Powerful Time Management Skill You'll Ever Learn. And I was kind of saying, oh, brother, this is going to be bad. I was listening to it. I thought it was really good. I totally enjoyed it. In fact, I recommend you go back and listen to episode number 1. I wouldn't change much about it at all. I thought it was really good. So it's nice that we can look back and be happy with things that we've done. That's another reason journaling is so great. Celebrate all of these things. We need moments that we can look back and feel proud. Story number 3. This is my Yoda board for inspiration. And I usually put some different quotes. This one says I.N.T.F.H. It's not that freaking hard. That quote helps me. You can substitute whatever word you want, but it's a quick reminder, like, don't get bogged down. Keep going. It's not that hard. That helps. Story number 4, Tom Brady and Father Time. Sheesh, 43 years old and won a Super Bowl. Incredible. I'm inspired by his obsessive diet and training regimen, 365 days a year, all the time. He lives and breathes his TB12 system, and I respect that. We can surely apply our standards and habits through the weekend, right? If he can do it all year long, good. Story number 5. Adam Leipzig has a TED Talk about life purpose, how to know your life purpose in 5 minutes. He's a movie producer, but he's got a great system. Let's see what you think. I'm still not sure if I totally agree with if this is a viable way to do that, to determine your life purpose, but it certainly gets the conversation going. He says you need to answer the 5 following questions: who you are, what you do, who you do it for, what those people want and need, and how those people change as a result. Check out his TED Talk, How to Know Your Life Purpose in 5 minutes. Story number 6 is from Mick Jagger. Are you a Rolling Stones fan? I am, definitely. I think they're the greatest rock and roll band ever. I just saw them 2 summers ago at Foxborough Stadium. Awesome. Of course, I was wearing an apron because I volunteered through part of my local band with my wife to be servers in one of the concessions. So you get a free ticket there. You're working all night, but a lot of times they let you out and you could watch from the side. You watch the show and you're hearing it. And it was definitely an experience. I learned I don't know how to pour beer right from the tap because it kept bubbling over. So anyway, Mick Jagger's point was that when he's on tour, every minute of his day is planned so that he can be at his best at showtime. Whether it be 10 p.m. or whatever time that he hits the stage, from when he has his coffee, when he has a nap, when he eats, when he travels, Everything is just so that he can be at his best for that. And that's cool. I do a similar thing at night. I try to have a coffee by 6:30 at the latest because that helps me. I like to work into the night, maybe, 1 in the morning, 12:30, get a lot done when it's quiet. And I usually do some TM in the afternoon, transcendental meditation. And I often watch bad movies or have them in the background while I'm working. Pink Floyd's DVD, um, Pulse, something I go to a lot. Maybe if there's a Celtics game, I like to have stuff on in the background. And that's how I plan my night. Whew. Well, we covered this article of SMART goals. You have to decide for yourself if a SMART goal does it for you, or maybe you need my 4 types of goals. Here's an ending quote from the great Mahatma Gandhi. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Gandhi. Well, thanks for joining me today. If you want more information on what I do, check out the website, allthehatswewear.com. And if you want a free consult for training or a individual coaching, let me know through the website and we'll set something up right away. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.